Hi friends, my name is Aqil Ahmed, and in this particular video I will show you how to insert or update differential data in SSIS based on the data in the source file. So this is about me. I have more than 8 plus years of experience on Microsoft technologies. My so the agenda of today's video tutorial is how to do incremental data load in SSIS on fairly big data sets. What do I mean by fairly big data set? Actually, we can do the incremental data load using SCD as well. Slowly changing dimension can also do the same kind of work, but the issue with slowly changing dimension is that actually process one row at a time. So if you have a big data set, maybe like millions of records, then slowly changing dimension will be very slow in that particular case. So to handle that kind of scenario, we can use merge join, which can actually join the source data with your destination data, and then it can find out the new or updated records. So in this particular tutorial, our source data will be in a CSV file and our destination will be a SQL Server table. So we will do a join between the CSV file and the SQL Server table. So we will be using a merge join to do the join. So without wasting time, let's jump to the demo. Okay, so this is my SQL Server Management Studio 2014 that I will be using, and I have a testing database, and inside that testing database I have write down two tables: the EMP master table, which will be our destination table, and this particular table will actually contain the final data, and this is our another table, EMP underscore staging. This will be recreated, dropped and recreated every time the SSIS package will run. However, the first table will not be recreated every time. This table will only be created first time the package will run, and then after that data will be inserted or updated to this particular table from a CSV file. So this is my one of the CSV file, test data underscore one.csv. So this is the source file that will be loaded every time. So instead of this particular file, we can have n number of files, and right now this particular file contains around 30 records, but this file can have millions of records. So whenever the SSIS package will run, this file will get loaded into a SQL Server table, and then so actually before loading the data into SQL Server table, this CSV file will directly join to this destination table EMP master based on the ID column, and then it will try to find out what are the new records, what are the new IDs in the CSV file those doesn't exist in the destination table. So for the new records, the records will be directly imported to EMP master table, and for the existing records, for example, if an ID already exists in this particular table, EMP master table, so at the moment that particular record will get inserted to EMP staging table, and later we will update data from this EMP staging table to EMP master table based on the ID column. So that process will be very faster, and I will show you how we will do that. So let me just open the Visual Studio 2013. So this is my SQL Server Data Tools 2013 that I will be using to create the SSIS package. So first of all, let's drag and drop and execute SQL task that will actually create the tables. If the table doesn't exist, create tables. So this task will actually create the table at the SQL end if the tables doesn't exist. So let me create a connection to the testing database, and under the SQL statement, as of now you can simply copy and paste this particular code. So this will actually recreate the EMP master and EMP staging table. So as of now, EMP master table should not contain any data. Let me just show you. Okay, so this table is empty, and even the second table should also be empty, but the second table will be recreated every time, so it doesn't matter if it is empty or not, because every time you will execute the SSIS package, this table will be dropped and created again. Okay, so let me just copy the create table script and paste it here. So this will create the tables, and then let me just drag and drop a data flow task and name the data flow task as calculate differential data. And then under data flow task, what we will do, we will read data from the flat file, as well as we will read data from his SQL server table. Okay, and then we will join this flat file with the SQL server table, destination table, and then we will figure out what are the new or updated records. Okay, so double click flat file source, make a connection to the CSV file that we have. This is our source file. Okay, click OK. Okay, and then make a connection to the SQL database. So connection is already there, and you can choose the table. Our table name is EMP master. Click OK, and then as we need to join the data from a CSV file and SQL server table together, so we need a merge join, and before the merge join we need to actually sort the data. So let's drag and drop to sort transformation as well. So just connect the flat file source with the sort transformation, double click sort transformation, and we will be sorting data based on the IT column. So we just selected IT, and the sort type will be ascending. Click OK, and now do the same thing with this particular sort transformation as well. ID column, sort type ascending. Click OK, and now we can connect the sort output from the sort transformation with the input with the merge join. And under the input we can select merge join left input, and then when we will connect, it will be connected automatically because it will be right output. Now double click merge join, and then we will be doing a actually left join. So what left join will do, it will read all data from the CSV file and the matching records from the SQL server table, the destination table, to which we need to insert or update data to based on the ID column. So we will select all columns from the left table and the ID column from the right table. So we can rename the ID column as maybe ID2. Okay, and then so for the matching records, the value of the ID2 column will be something but not null, and for the non-matching records, the value of the ID2 will be null. Now click OK, and then let me just drag and drop a derived column and replace the null value of the ID2 column, replace null with 0. So because doing a calculation on a column that has null values, so what we can do, we can replace the null value with a 0 value, and then we can do our calculation. So what we can do is, we can just simply drag and drop the ID2 column, and we can replace the null value in it for the non-matched records with a 0 value. And then so if ID2 will be null, it will be changed with a 0 value, otherwise the ID2 value will be sustained. So this is the expression. If ID2 is null, then it will be replaced by the 0, otherwise we will use the ID2 value itself. So we have replaced the data in the ID2 column. Click OK. Okay, now let's drag and drop a conditional split transformation. So what actually conditional split transformation will do, it will move the matched records to one table and non-matched records to another table. So let's double click on the conditional split transformation, and under the columns let's drag and drop the ID2 column here, and under the condition we can make a condition like if ID2 equal to 0, so this means that a record is not matched. So we can say non-matched records. Okay, ID2, if ID2 is 0 for a particular record, it means that the ID2 value earlier was null, and it was null because the record from a SQL server table did not match with the source CSV file. Now click OK. Okay, now let's insert data from conditional output to two different outputs. So one will be for matched records and another will be for non-matched records. So let's first of all let's insert non-matched records. So non-matched records means those records should be directly inserted to the destination, because those records are new or non-matched. So this means that we can directly insert those records into the our master table, employee master table. Okay, so let's select the EMP master table from here, navigate to mappings, so columns have been mapped, click OK. And now for the matched records we need to update them, so let's insert those records into the staging table, EMP staging table. Okay, mappings. Okay, so now we have configured this particular SSIS package, so it will read data from the CSV file, and then from the our final table will merge data after sorting, and then will replace the value of ID2 from null to 0, because null means that record is new, and if a value is there it means record already exists. And then based on the conditional split, if a record is 0, it means that record doesn't exist or it's a new record, so it will be directly inserted to our final table. Or if the record already exists, then we can insert it to EMP staging table, and then we can later update it with the main table. So now what we can do is, for the existing records, let me just write an update query, update existing data, double click, make a connection. So for the existing records we can simply update data into EMP master from the staging table based on ID column, first name, last name, gender and company name. So let me simply copy and paste this particular query into the SQL statement. Okay, alright, so this is our SSIS package. So if you execute this particular SSIS package, it should actually read data from the CSV file, and so it has read 30 records from the CSV file, and the first time, as there were no records in the SQL Server table, so all 30 records got inserted into the SQL Server destination table, and it has not actually updated any records as of now. Okay, so if you go back to here and if you try to select data from EMP master, you will see that all 30 records are contains in this particular table. And if you select data from EMP staging table, so you can see that this particular table as of now doesn't contain any data. Okay, so we are able to see the data by looking at this particular table, but ideally what should happen, that we should know after looking some of the log table, like how many records have been inserted and how many records have been updated, because in this particular query we have updated some records, but we don't know like how many records are actually got updated or inserted. Okay, so to handle that kind of thing, what we can do is, let me simply copy and paste this particular log table query here. So I will share all these queries and package on Data Platform Labs, so you can download the package from there. So if you execute this particular query, so it will drop and recreate the logs table. So but in the real scenario, what you can do is, you should not drop the log table every time. Like if you are going to drop the log table every time, so it won't make much sense. What you can do is, if table doesn't exist, then you can recreate it. Okay, so as of now the log table should not contain any records in it, and it will be get filled as soon as the package will run. Okay, so in this particular log table, what we will do, we will log the package name, records inserted, records updated, and the date time when a particular task has been done. Okay, so now what we can do is, for the records inserted, we can use a transformation here, row count transformation. But before doing that, okay, so let me create two SSIS variables here, one for insertion and another one for updation. So right click on the control flow and select variables, and then click this particular icon to create a new variable. Name the variable as CNT inserted records, and the data type can be int32. And now create another one, CNT updated records, and the data type can be int32 as well. Okay, so we are done with creating two SSIS variables. Now go back to the data flow task, then connect to the row, connect the output from the conditional split with the input of the row count transformation. And now double click row count transformation. Under the variables you can select CNT inserted records. So as soon as the data will flow from this particular path, the value of the CNT inserted records will get updated, and we can use that particular value inside the SSIS package. Okay, and now go to the control flow and double click update existing data. Under this particular query you can write select row count. So row count will actually contain the number of records affected by this particular query, by this update query. Okay, so we can return that particular query, and we can change the result set to single row. Go back to result set and change it to 0, and then choose the CNT updated records, because we want to update the value of this particular SSIS variable with the result set that will be returned here from the select query. Click OK. Now we have cached the values of the inserted or updated records in the SSIS variables. Now let me just simply insert that particular information to a SQL Server log table. Do logging, and then double click here, make a connection to the testing database, and now go back to this particular location, and let me just simply write an insert query. Insert into logs values. First one will be package name, another one record inserted, record updated, and the get date value. Okay, so simply cut this particular value, and now go to the expressions, and under expressions click this particular 3 dots. Under property choose SQL statement source, and now again click 3 dots here. Okay, and now paste the query here. Under the first option we need to give the name of the SSIS package. So there is a system variable package name. We can use that particular variable here, and then for the first 0 it should be records inserted. Okay, so let me replace the value of 0 with the SSIS variable CNT inserted records, and we need to convert it to string WSTR, 12, and then again for the updated records let me just drag and drop CNT updated records here, and now let me convert it to a string as well. Okay, close the expression. If you click evaluate expression, so there should not be any error here. Click OK. Okay. So now we are done with creating this particular SSIS package, and now if you go back to the SQL Server, and for example if you drop this particular table, okay, so that this means like we are running the package very first time, and if you refresh all these tables, and now click the start button, so this will reprocess the data. So if you go double click the calculate differential data, so you will see that all 30 records got inserted actually, and none of the record got updated. And if you go back to SQL Server table, and if you select data from the logs table, so you will see that for this particular package 30 records got inserted while none of the records got updated. Okay, so now to test the package, if the package is actually running fine or not, what we can do is, let me select data from this particular table. So this particular table as of now contains 30 records. So what we can do is, we can delete maybe 10 records from the table. Delete top 10 from EMP master. Okay, so what actually it will do, if we have removed 10 records from the table, so now if we will rerun the package, so because the 10 records doesn't exist as of now in the SQL Server table, so 10 records will actually get inserted, and then the 20 records should get updated. Okay, because when this particular CSV file will be compared with the SQL Server table. So in SQL Server table, as of now we have just 20 records, and in this particular CSV file we have 30 records. So the 10 records, those actually be deleted from the SQL Server table. It will get inserted, and the 20 records will get updated. Okay, so let me just rerun the SSIS package. Okay, so now if you see, from CSV file we got 30 records, from SQL Server table we got 20 records, and if you see, 10 records got inserted and 20 records got updated. And if you go to SQL Server table, logs table, and if you select data again from it, so you can see that 10 records are actually got inserted and 20 records got updated. Okay, and if you rerun the SSIS package again, so in that particular case what will happen is 0 records will get inserted and all 30 records will get updated, because there is no change in the source or destination. So that's why all data will get updated. Okay, so if you re-execute the the SQL Server query, so now you can see all records are getting updated and none of the record is getting inserted. Okay, so guys, this is how we can do an incremental load in the SSIS. If record exists, then we can update it, and if it doesn't exist, then we can insert it. Thank you guys for watching this particular video, and if you like the video, then please click the like button and do subscribe to our channel to see more videos on SSIS and other related technology.